Hey, we are back with episode 29. How many is that? 29, kids. Woo! We hope you enjoyed the Slayer episode. I know you did because it was top shelf VIP quality entertainment. So John's going to bag on my...
So John's was it really?
Yes.
So we end the episode with me getting an answer wrong about Metallica because
what?
All I'm saying is it's Wikipedia and the Encyclopedia Metallum have Hetfield since '81. Okay, not according to read the book Mustaine.
I'll read it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Now
we're not saying you're wrong. You're just not right.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with Metallica anyway.
All right, bag on my shirt.
Every time I go to the record store,
I know you're going
and I see Darkness because the is so small. I think, is that the new German Darkness, the Thrash Kings? Nope, it's some funky, fresh pop whatever band, and it drives me insane because I always get duped into thinking there's a new Darkness. Oh no, there's not a new Darkness. Now, you said you really liked them. I hear a phone ringing, and I'm sorry. I have a new phone. I don't know how to shut the phone ringer off.
Production
value.
It's just
nope. It's gone.
Oh, it's gone now. We scared it away.
We scared the phone away.
So
anyway,
I do like the Darkness. I saw them live on this tour, which was I don't know when, a few years ago. Here's what I will tell you about the Darkness. If you like, I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and that was kind of a goofy, kitschy, funny thing. Those dudes can play, man. They can play. They can play leads. They're all really good. They're all really good at what they do. And the thing that I remember about the energy that they brought was the singer was doing a handstand in front of the kick drum, clapping his feet.
Have you ever seen Tom Araya do that? Have you ever seen George Corpse Grinder Fisher do that?
Dude, they were so great. And he's riding around on some dude's shoulders, playing guitars, playing great leads. The Darkness is the most energetic band I have ever seen. More energetic than Pantera in the club days, I'm telling you. If not, it was neck and neck. They were great. I like the Darkness. I like their goofiness. I like that they're Queen and Thin Lizzy and a dash of Bee Gees on the choruses. And it's awesome anyway. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
No, we're not here to talk about that. But while we're talking about shirts, I happen to like Forebode from Austin.
I couldn't read that.
Killer, sludgy doom.
What is that? Is that like a tongue? Oh, it's a slug.
It's a slug.
Oh.
Sludge. Slow down the hay.
I went to Bell's. I don't
Anyway, they're so good. I went home the night that I heard their music, and I drew something up for them because they were so inspiring.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do this, but something is about to happen.
Forebode.
In fact, they're releasing a brand new EP on the 15th, 16th, or 14th, 15th, and 16th, I think. They're doing a Houston, Austin, San Antonio run to do it. Anyway, Fast Eddie, here's to you and the crew, and good luck with the EP release, and I can't wait to hear the full length.
Yeah, it's very foreboding.
I see what you did there. Make it rain, Rob. Make it rain.
Check it out, kids. We got one for you. This is a little more on my radar than the Carcasses, but we did meet in the middle and decide that we were going to go into today and to episode 29, Rockin' with Dokken. What's up? All right. We're going to go backwards.
But let's... You asked me this. What band can you talk about that's hair metal that's not Winger, because we've talked a lot about Winger.
We did talk a lot about Winger.
And so immediately that was the one that came to mind was Dokken, because I thought that they sort of got lumped into the hair metal thing, but they are by no means a Bang Tango or a Tiger Tails or a whatever.
There's nothing wrong with Tiger Tails.
There's a lot wrong.
There's nothing wrong with Bang Tango.
You can talk about it down
there. Oh. Bring it on.
Yeah. Okay, no. Let's get back to Dokken.
Oh, okay.
Let's get back to something a little more manly.
When these guys started out, This is one, I went backward a little bit, but I only went backwards like one album. I think I heard Tooth and Nail first, but anyway, we'll get there. Breaking the Chains, kids. This is heavy rock and roll. I love Don's voice. Don has always been one of my very favorite singers. His voice has suffered in recent years, and but whose hasn't? But man, I've always loved him and respected him as a singer, as a songwriter, because people are like, oh, Lynch, and Lynch is great. He's phenomenal. I'm not trying to get past that. But here's the deal. You go back and you rewind to the beginning. Don Dokken is playing guitar. Go watch the videos on YouTube of them playing the Beat Club. Guess who's playing the solos? Don Dokken. Don freaking Dokken. That dude's a badass guitar player. I know it, and if you don't know it, you need to. Now, he shed the guitar pretty quick.
And who plays the bass on this?
Juan Croucher
from
Rat.
You
say it?
From Rat infamy.
That's right.
Solid band. Great band.
I love this album. Breaking the Chains, In the Middle, Felony. I can hear all these songs. This was at a very formative time in my metal upbringing. 83, I'm 13. And I remember listening to this. And this carried with me for several years. I listened to it over and over. I remember being in driver's ed when I was 16. And I'm playing this freaking Dokken record. So I love it. Breaking the Chains. Maybe we'll do a top 3. Then we move over to Tooth and Nail. This, to me, is one of those perfect metal records. And when I say, I'm not talking thrash metal, I'm not talking grindcore, I'm not talking glam metal. I'm talking about just an American heavy metal album. I'm talking like Keel, Right to Rock, Lay Down the Law. They're just heavy metal albums, just traditional heavy metal albums. That's where I score this one. This is one of my top 10 or 15 favorite albums of all time. I can remember my dad calling me down in the back seat to turn my headphones down because I was playing this over and over. And the song Bullets to Spare.
Oh, that's a great song.
It's a great song. And I remember my dad turning around, putting his arm over the back of the seat going, all I can hear is, I got bullets aplenty. Bullets aplenty. That's all I can hear. And psh, psh, psh. And he was right. Because, music is repetitive, especially our kind of music. But anyway, I love this album. It's one of my favorite traditional metal albums of all time. I didn't see them till many years later. What say you, Carcass?
Well, I'm starting to see a pattern here with another band that I made the mistake, or did I, on Metallica. I think that this first Dokken is like unto Kill 'Em All. Mm-hmm. Great songs, great presentation. Man, and as a graphic designer, I love the logo. I thought the logo was absolutely killer.
Pretty cool.
And this is a step better. So this is like unto Kill 'Em All. This is like unto Ride the Lightning. And we might as well start talking about this thing, because I think this is one of the best ones that they ever put out. Under Lock and Key.
Yep.
Unchain the Night, The Hunter. Once again, they're instigating melody into heaviness, and that's what I that's what I really dug. Lightning Strikes Again. I mean, holy cow!
This one for me is here we go.
Production value.
Yeah, this one for me, it's bear with me. It's their Black Album-ish. They didn't stray away from the Dokken sound so much, but on the first album, you've got Breaking the Chains. Well, who knows the rest of the songs? Not very many people know, any deep cuts on that. Well, when you go to Tooth and Nail, you get Just Got Lucky. They had a video for that. Into the Fire a little bit. Go ahead. That. But man, this thing digs deep. Unchain the Night, The Hunter, In My Dreams, It's Not Love. I mean, this is the one that propelled them to MTV stardom and really got, they were on the map, but this really entrenched them. The only thing that I don't like about this, because I love the album, I like all the songs, the thing that I don't like about this is the costume stuff. And they've fully admitted that that was a mistake. I needed them to be a jeans and t-shirts and leather jackets, kind of band like they were in the beginning. You know, yeah, spandex, leather pants, whatever. That's fine, but I needed them to stay more traditional like that, like the New Album bands were looking and whoever. But this, man, I just didn't get this. I didn't see them on this tour. Like I said, it's been many years, but this is a great freaking album.
It's a great album, but that's what happens when you listen to the record company.
Yep.
It reminds me of a story that Phil Demmel told about Violence when they went to New York, and they actually asked them to do a promo photo in silver tuxedos with top hats and canes. Violence.
Ugh.
And it didn't happen. Fortunately, that picture hasn't been seen by very many people. They actually did the session, but you just can't dress up in a clown suit. I think that they were trying to appeal to the heavy metal and to the hair metal fans and broaden their base, which is smart. I understand the marketing aspect of it, but these dudes are a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
They're not a hair metal band.
Right.
Even though they got sandwiched in with those guys.
The production's a little polished on this for me. I would love to have heard this remixed and really stripped down to sound, because I mean, Tooth and Nail and that had a lot of reverb on it too, but if I could hear this in a Break in the Chains mix and master.
Well, this is Neil Kernan, who's really good, and then Michael Wagner, who
did everything.
Yeah, and including the some of the Hex stuff in the Bay Area thrash, like Forbidden.
He did Motley Crue and I think some Rat and a bunch. But anyway,
so there's quality personnel on the record. Overall, I think the record's fantastic.
I do too.
But here's where we break out of the fourth album being, just mediocre. I mean, that thing right there, Back for the Attack. I think this is probably their best. I guess I'm tipping my hand. We're supposed to wait till the end.
It doesn't matter.
But this thing, Kiss of Death, Prisoner, Night by Night, Standing in the Shadows, Heaven Sent, Mr. Scary, which was part of a Freddy Krueger thing.
You're thinking of Dream Warriors.
Oh, Dream Warriors. Okay.
Yeah. Which is on.
That was the B-side.
Right.
Was Mr. Scary.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So Many Tears, Burning Like a Flame. I mean, every song on here you heard on the radio, or heard on Z-Rock, or heard on the Eagle, or heard on whatever. And
this was their Black Album. Just home run. Hits.
But it wasn't pretentious like that.
Right.
It was aggressive and heavy, and I just totally dig this, and shocking as it may seem, Mr. Grindcore, that's a great record. And so are that's the thing, the first four Dokkens are amazing.
I am burned out on this so badly. It's a great album. I don't disagree with anything you said. It's probably not in my top 3 Dokken albums. I don't know if that's because I wore it out. I don't know if it's because I heard it so much. It was like 70 minutes of music or something, which was unheard of at the time. You didn't put out albums that long. But yeah, this thing is ridiculous. And how much music is on here? 13 tracks. It's 60 or 65 or 70 minutes. It's forever. Anyway.
Well, wherein you were probably wearing that thing out, I was in the heavier realms at that time, and this was my sneaky secret indulgence.
Right.
So I would enjoy it a little less often than probably you did, and so maybe that's why you're just burned out on it.
But you're right. Every song is good. It's a great album. It's a solid album. Is it their best album? It probably is their best album. It's not my favorite, but it probably is their best album. And while
but we've had that discussion.
Right.
If it's their best or if it's your favorite, there's two different.
That can be two different things.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something that you don't know about.
Uh-oh. Been holding out on me.
I've been holding out.
Yeah,
you sound like the poser. Okay, so my buddy Phil at ZT Records, I'm a Dokken fan. Obviously, I've been a long-time Dokken fan. And I'm also a Nightmare on Elm Street fan. I love it.
Oh, I remember this story.
Goofy, silly movies, horror movies. I loved them. I loved everything about them. Popcorn, man, just silly, cheesy. So Phil over at ZT Records calls me up, and he's doing Texas Frightmare Weekend. He always sets up a music booth over there. So he always wants, scary music or Halloween-themed music or, creepy kind of stuff that will fit the format of the convention, but he'll take anything. So lots of metal, obviously. And this year, Scott Ian was there from Anthrax, and he was going to be signing some stuff. So he got some Anthrax records from me, including Among the Living. an original U.S. press of Among the Living. And the organizer, the owner of Texas Frightmare Weekend, called Phil and said, I want to get that record signed, the Anthrax, Among the Living. And Phil calls me, do you have one? Yes, I have one. Will you let it go? For this, yes, I'll let it go. I can get another one. He said, what do you want for it? I said, well, you know how you always borrow my Dream Warriors and my Fastway record? Because I've got the Trick or Treat soundtrack on vinyl.
Ooh.
And he always likes to display those. And so I said, this year, if you'll take my Dream Warriors, and Robert Englund is going to be there, if you'll get him to sign my Dream Warriors,
That's pretty cool.
I'll give you the Anthrax record. And there it is. Play It Loud, Freddie K. Robert Englund. I don't think I'd take $1,000 for that. I just love it.
I got a Tiger Tales record I'd swap straight up for you.
That's tempting.
I knew it would be, see? I know you so well.
Man, this is so freaking cool. They had the tie-in with the movie from the Back from the Attack album. The single came out. That's my favorite song on the album is Dream Warriors. And if you're a Mad Rock listener, which you should be, Mad Rock 102.5 on your iHeartRadio app, they play this in pretty regular rotation. It's awesome. Anyway, I got completely distracted because I thought of that, but I knew
that was a great distraction. That's very cool.
So I'll be real quick on this. The next thing up is the live album.
It's a good live album.
Beast from the East. It's a good live album. It's a good representation of what they were doing then. My favorite thing about this is the ballad at the end, Walk Away. That's my favorite thing about the whole deal.
I have the Japanese pressing of this and really dig it.
On CD or vinyl?
On CD.
Okay. Cool.
And it's got some, as I recall, it has some video content in it.
Maybe. Cool. I've never seen
but
that.
Anyway, yeah, it's kind of like the Judas Priest Unleashed in the East. That's great to have on Japanese pressing because it's from Japan. So that was I found that at I believe Randy's Records in Salt Lake City, Utah, of all places. A Japanese pressing. Shout out to them.
Shout out to Randy's.
But anyway, for a live album, it's great. It's not a go-to live album, but it's certainly credible. And the track list is great. Unchained the Night, Tooth and Nail, Dream Warriors.
It's a best of.
Yeah.
It's a live best of. It's good. My favorite thing on it is Walk Away. Now
we get a little off the rails.
The lug nuts are getting a little loose. The band hates each other. They've probably hated each other for a long time, but they've held it together.
So this is an appropriate name for this record.
So Dysfunctional comes out. Inside Looking Out is good. The Maze is good. Too High to Fly is arguably one of their best songs. I'll be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot more off of this album. I've listened to it a few times. This didn't really stick with me. Grunge was heavy duty at the time. I'm not saying this is a grunge album or they were trying to appeal to that audience, but everybody was tuning down, everybody was stripping down, everybody was trying to get darker and heavier. And this did that to some extent, but I'm glad to have it in the collection, but I like a couple songs. Too High to Fly is fantastic. But other than that, I could leave this album.
Yeah. I agree. I like that they didn't change the logo, though. Cool logo.
They did change the logo on this. I can't tell you anything about this. I did not get into this album much at all. I don't recall any of the songs by title, which kind of sucks. It makes me a lame.
Is this the one with
Dokken
Red
fan.
Beach?
Mm-mm.
No, not yet.
Not yet. I'm sure that... Yeah, I don't know. I can't... You tell us what you think of Shadow Life, because I know almost nothing about it. I've spun it a few times. It didn't stick with me.
They changed the logo. I overlooked it.
Okay, now, erase the slate. If you're going to ditch George Lynch, you might as well have Reb Beach in the band.
Why not?
Now, I don't know why Reb only lasted one album, and I'd be interested to know. If you guys know, I'm sure, I mean, I can read or whatever, but if you guys know what happened with Reb, I don't know, because he came in, they put this album out that I thought was great. I really got my arms around this album. I liked it a lot. Erase the Slate is good. Change the World. They're back to those huge hooks, man. Maddest Hatter is a great song. There's just some really good stuff on here. I liked it a lot. I saw this tour. Reb Beach crushed on guitar. He did a fantastic job playing all the Lynch stuff. And I loved it. I really embraced this album. If you haven't checked out Erase the Slate by Dokken, get it. The only thing cooler than this is the Japanese version, which has one of my very favorite songs that was not included on the American version. It's a song called Sign of the Times. And I found Sign of the Times in the closing credits of the Live from the Sun video.
Mm.
So when the show is over and they start playing music underneath the credits, you get about a minute and a half of Sign of the Times. It took me forever to track down a Japanese pressing, but there it is.
Well,
do you know anything about that one?
Because I love Reb Beach, and remember the time and I'm guessing the reason why Reb didn't hang out is because Whitesnake started happening and Winger started happening again.
True.
And I'm sure that he was lured back to Winger because that was the original thing. And remember when we saw him at that place over in Keller? Yes. I posted a picture of Reb Beach ripping on guitar, and your comment was, keep practicing because Reb Beach is probably better than you. That guy is really good. And,
holy crap.
And seeing his work with Whitesnake, he probably, and his harmonies, his vocals, his guitar playing, everything is just great. I really like him.
Well, and speaking of harmonies and vocals, Jeff Pilson is underrated as a singer and a musician.
Yep.
Jeff Pilson carries the harmonies and stuff on these Dokken albums. He's an integral, very important part of the band. Obviously, Wild Mick, badass. I freaking love Wild Mick. But this is a good record with Reb and the rest of the guys from the classic Dokken.
And you can say what you want, but that foundation, those foundation players, bass and drums. I mean, Mick Brown and Jeff Pilson, like you said, are absolute beasts.
Fantastic rhythm section. Fantastic. Now, if you don't believe me about Reb's playing on the album because you can do anything in the studio, well, go get Live from the Sun because he just kills it. Great album. Again, saw the tour.
I have the video, and yes, to your point.
It's awesome.
Say no more.
Best of Yippee.
I like that logo.
Okay, now I go see Dokken. What year did this come? I can't read that. What year are we talking there?
That's 2008.
That's kind of anyway. Okay, that screws up my point, but
sorry.
Sometime in the late 90s or early 2000s, I go see Dokken, and they're on some festival bill. Mm. With Warrant and Quiet Riot.
Like Rocklahoma.
Something like that. It was in Dallas. And it's Don, and I don't recognize anybody else in the band, and there's this dude, this short-haired dude, black-headed dude, out there, and he's just crushing it. He is just tooth and nail solo, note for note, and it turns out it's the great John Levin.
Wow.
Where
did that come from?
My understanding is that he is an entertainment lawyer or something like that. I don't know that for sure. I think he's an entertainment lawyer. Maybe he was Dokken's lawyer. I don't know. But holy crap, man. If you go see Dokken in any lineup, it doesn't matter. The guitar playing is going to be good. And if Lynch is not there, which he probably won't be these days, dude, John Levin kills it, man. This is a good album. There's a lot of good songs on here. It's a little heavier than some of the stuff they do, but it's still just as melodic and cool. I like it, and John Levin is a beast.
I don't know anything about this record, but I did see him at one of those giant, metal band du jour type scenarios. And I remember them being great, although we sat way, way far back. Mm-hmm. But, even Quiet Riot sounded good. So it was like, I mean, the thing is when you're a seasoned musician, you can make just about anything sound good.
Right.
Kind of like the Darkness. They're great musicians.
Crush.
They're great performers, and they can sound. Live they sound great. I don't know that I would ever buy a record from them, but once again. Good. I don't think Don is going to ruin the integrity of the band by having mediocre guys play.
No, he would never do that.
Even if they're no-name people.
Right. So, Sealed, yes, sorry. I bought the MP3s when it came out, so I bought this later and I've never opened it. So, Broken Bones. It's a continuation of Lightning Strikes Again. If you like that, you'll really like this. It's got another one of my very favorite Dokken songs on it called Best of Me. Empire's good, Broken Bones is good, Best of Me. There's a lot of great stuff on here. It's a CD and a DVD. Reach back and grab this if you haven't. You'll like it. But Best of Me is a fantastic, classic, heavy ballad Dokken song.
Is this John Levin again?
It's John Levin, yep.
Is this Frontiers? Yeah, this is a...
Yeah.
They're putting out some really killer stuff.
Yes, they are. That's a few years old now.
They've helped keep that style of not quite hair metal alive. I like it.
If you want Hardline, if you want Sunstorm with Joe Lynn Turner, I mean, man, Frontiers is doing that Mike Tramp stuff from White Lion. It's all out there on Frontiers. White Lion, I know.
No. Hey.
He's going to hurt me.
Vinny Brado, I kind of like the guy. Guy's a great guitar player.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Vito's awesome.
Or Vito Brado.
And one of these days I'll talk about why he was the second coming of Eddie Van Halen. Anyway.
Wait, there's lightning outside. I'm waiting for a strike right now. No.
So this one came out a few years ago. Rhino put this out live from Conception. From Conception Live 81. This is back during the Beat Club days. 81. Okay. You're going to hear a lot of Don Dokken guitar playing as well as Lynch. Great album. The recording quality is fantastic. It's awesome. I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't heard it, being a Breaking the Chains, Tooth and Nail era guy, this predates that. But
I'm impressed with your collection because mine stopped at Dysfunctional and
you'll dig it.
And I think I might have even traded it. But anyway,
now we get over into Solitary. Which is I'm sorry. We get into, I'm tipping my hand, we get into solo Don Dokken stuff. Do you know who plays drums on this?
I have no idea.
Mickey D plays drums on this.
What?
Yep. So this is the first thing. This came out 90, 91, something like that.
Did I need to read that for you?
90. I was right this time.
I have pretty good eyes for a young 70s or a youthful 77.
That's right. This came out on Geffen back in 90. I absolutely love this album. It's got John Norum from Europe playing guitar. It's got Mickey D on drums, and forgive a couple of guys I can't call their names right now. Anyway.
But it's a classic 5-piece lineup, right? 2 guitars, a bass, drummer.
5-piece lineup.
Or is it a keyboard player?
Nope, it's guitar players, I'm pretty sure. But this thing, I love it. If you were wanting to get back to a classic Dokken sound, big melody, big hooks. There's even a couple of huge ballads on here if you like that kind of thing, man. This has got it for you. If you missed Don Dokken Up From the Ashes, you need to go back and get this. If I had 20 copies, I'd give them away in the comments. That's how much I love this album. It's a traditional American hard rock record, and I absolutely love everything about it.
And once again, I don't know anything about it because once he went on his own, I just thought I'd heard him once and his voice was so bad that I just thought I need to not listen to him anymore because I don't want to taint the legacy. Yeah. And so I don't know when that happened, but you're telling me that it didn't happen on this record.
No. That's classic Don Dokken right there. And then we'll finish it up real quick here. This is going to be another one that's out of your wheelhouse. So I went and saw Don Dokken and a guy from MSG open for Queensryche at the Southside Ballroom. And it was Don and this other guy, and they were playing acoustic guitars. And I knew what it was going to be, so it was literally those two guys sitting on seats with a couple of candles in between them on a table. And they played Dokken songs, they played some different stuff. It was interesting, it was really cool, it was well done, they did a good job. So if you went and paid $20 to get this thing, this professional CDR of Don Dokken's Solitary album. It was $20 and you got a meet and greet. Well, Don wasn't feeling that night, and I did not get to meet my hero. So I paid my $20. I kept the CD for a long time, and I sold it for some reason. Let me tell you what it. You notice I have one now again.
How much did you have to remortgage
Almost
the house?
$200.
Ouch.
Yeah. This is impossible to find. This is I've seen two. The one that I originally bought out of the 30 box that was sitting on the merch table, and this one that I found on eBay. And I couldn't pull the trigger fast enough because I regretted it. If there's any such thing as dark acoustic driven ballads, but it's still a rock album, this is it. It's deep, man. It's deep.
I didn't realize you loved Dokken that much.
I do.
Like I said, it's kind of like one of those little hidden pleasures that I have where I listen to
Love Don Dokken.
bands like Dokken, or like I said, even the White Lion. Those they were borderline. They were tweeners for me. They weren't the full on Tiger Tails, Bang Watega, whatever. They were a little more towards my wheelhouse, so they were still safe to me.
Right.
So that being said,
this is
interesting. So now I'm going to be all over YouTube.
This is not when I say this is ballady, I don't mean this is not belly rubbing music. Okay, this is not. It's lights are low. It's been a hard week. I'm enjoying a bottle of wine. I'm letting the week fade away, but it's got some depth to it, man. He's dealing with things on this album, and I really love it. I think the Solitary thing will speak for itself when you read into the lyrics and when you hear what he's talking about. I think he's alone when he does this album. That's my interpretation. That's what I read into it. I like it. It's dark. It's deep. It's really awesome.
Well, when I heard he was doing this solo thing and the acoustic guitar or whatever, maybe he was alone. Because I mean, think about it. You're right. You're in the bus with these other dudes, and you've been with them, and you're touring, and you're playing every single night. Then when you're not touring, you're in the studio.
Yeah.
And then you're back out on the road. I mean, that's the way it used to be. It was
right.
a hard life. And then to have all that just kind of go away, and now you're just left sitting there. I could see where he would have a little angst and a little emotion about it.
Yeah.
But when did he start kind of... I mean, has he recovered his voice? Because, I mean...
No, Don's voice, and I say this with the utmost amount of respect, because Don Dokken is absolutely one of my rock and roll heroes. But it's just, there's no high note left. He just, I think it's his voice just isn't in good shape. I'm pretty sure I know why. I just don't think he's taking care of his voice. And it's very tragic to see. The last time I saw him was a couple years ago at Lava Cantina, and I felt really bad for the guy, because when he would start singing, people were looking at each other like, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" And I hate that, man, because the guy's got a right to make a living. He's got a right to carry the namesake of his band. He's got a right to get out there and play music if that's what he wants to do. I hope that he hasn't stayed too late, because I freaking love Don, man. And I still want to meet him someday. I still would love to talk to him and interview him, but I just don't think he did a good job taking care of his voice.
Well, Don, if you're out there, we'll be happy to sit down with you for a few minutes.
I love you, man.
And we have friends that are in the business that sing, James Rivera, and namely George Call, and they all seem to have either tricked themselves or prepared themselves for getting older, because they're not young anymore. Even Ronnie Dio, I mean, he was still hitting all those high notes, even sick and in his nearly 70s.
Your voice changes. I mean, your throat physically changes, and there are things that you simply can't do, and you can't hit as high of notes as you could when you were a kid, because things change in there. But the other thing is, and George could attest to this, I'm sure, and so could James. James still has an amazing voice, but you take care of it. There's God-given ability, there's just talent, there's just raw talent, and people that can go out there and just do that night after night, and there's people that need to maintain their instrument. And if you don't maintain your instrument, it
goes away.
It goes away. You know, that you know, Les Paul Gold Top, if you don't take care of it, it's not going to play like it did.
No.
And it's the same with your voice, and it's embarrassing. How do I want to say this? I understand that it can be embarrassing for a singer because you're out there and there's nothing you can do. You can't just tune it. You can't just put a distortion pedal on it. You can't just... It is what it is. And with all the tricks in the world, if you're a bad singer, man, there's almost nowhere to hide. So kudos to Don for doing what he wants to do and loving what he does. But, yeah, I've seen some people shaking their heads and saying some pretty nasty things about the guy, but I'm always going to love him.
Yeah, well, there's no reason, like you said, there's no reason to not keep trying. But you know, to your point, we know guys that are still able to do it, like the Halfords of the world, or even Dee Snider. Speaking of Lava Cantina, dude, he was a powerhouse. And by the way, according to Nick and Charlie, they're the main songwriters. New Dee Snider coming out. They're going to go in the studio this summer and they're off to the races. That thing looks like a full-time gig now.
Maybe, cool. Maybe I can catch it this time.
Yeah,
I missed it.
But props to you, Don. Props to Dokken for keeping it real and keeping me on the cusp of sanity, of good music, and not so much. You know, hey, insect warfare for life.
I knew you were going to say insect warfare.
But Dokken, come on, man. I'm not going to disparage them.
I was forming the words in my mouth about insect warfare, and you said it.
Hey, greatness is greatness, no matter what. So,
absolutely.
Anyway,
absolutely.
But that being said, gosh, we squeezed. He even said, "You want to talk about Dokken?" I said, "I don't even know if we could." He said, "I don't care if it's 5 minutes. I want to talk about Dokken." Now I know why. So I learned.
We ended up getting almost 40 minutes out of it.
Holy cow! Yeah. Well, it's time to.
Hey guys, we love you. Thank you so much for sticking with us. I promise you, we do read everything that you write. We've gotten emails. We've seen messages on the videos and stuff like that. Thank you. Please share us. Please keep tuning in. Next episode will be episode 30, so we'll have to do something kind of special for that, I guess. I don't know.
Episode 30?
This is 29, so...
Right on.
So, 28, 29...
If you have any,
30 is
if
next.
you have any suggestions, let us know what we
can
do for the big 3-0, because I know that's
right. And Alex, this is a shout-out to you. Maybe I'll learn how to hook my phone up to it and... film in HD, but I don't know if anybody wants to see any of this.
Oh, are you talking about Alex Picard? From
no,
Monarch?
No. Oh. Alex, no, a buddy of mine, it's his son. He chimed in and told me a way to fix our video.
Speaking of Alex Picard of Monarch and Casey Trask and the boys.
I know where you're going.
Monarch will be playing Dokken this year because they won metal band. They won the contest for Battle for Dokken.
Yep.
So, props to Monarch. I got to do the cover art for their first album. They are a killer old school thrash metal band, and for young guys, I love that they're keeping that real.
Yes.
I would love to roadie to Dokken to check them out.
Yep.
I don't care if it's on the side stage in the tent, behind the merch booth. I could care less. I would love to see them play.
Fast-paced traditional metal.
And those really guys do a lot of work with Cage and Three Tremors, and they're super busy, but they said that they practiced and got this thing together. So props to the Monarch boys out in San Diego.
Congrats, brothers.
Congrats. And Dokken.
I know, right? Maybe we can see them on the feed. I doubt it.
Oh, yeah. That's not a bad idea.
No, but the feed, I've already marked my calendar.
Chime in, Alex, Casey, you guys. Let us know more details.
Yep, we
in
love
the
you
comments
boys.
below.
All right, with that wraps up episode 29. And as always, metal
will prevail.